Are you eyeing a used Ashford Traditional and wondering if it's a good deal or not? If so, then I'm guessing that you're either a new spinner or a potential spinner. Hopefully you have a spinner friend that can help you out and go with you to take a look at that wheel. But since you're here on YouTube, I'm guessing that you don't. My name's Danny, and I've been spinning for about 2 years, so I still remember what it's like to be completely new and have no idea what it is that you're looking for. I'd like to help you avoid making some of the same mistakes that I made and to understand the true cost of the wheel that you're looking to purchase and hopefully get it for a reasonable price. I'm also going to show you how my husband and I fixed the clunky wheel on the Ashford Traditional spinning wheel that I bought with zero prior knowledge of what to look for. My hope is to keep you from becoming frustrated and giving up on learning to spin. Had I not started my spinning journey with sheep, I definitely would have given up, and that would have been a shame because I absolutely love spinning now. I did not love it at first. However, sheep can be a really great motivator for learning to spin. An Ashford Traditional is actually a really good option when you are looking to purchase a used wheel. According to Ashford's website, it has been the world's most popular spinning wheel for the last 90 years. So it has readily available replacement parts. They still make the wheel, they manufacture it new, and you can still get replacement parts for a lot of the older models. This makes it a great choice because any repairs, you can get actual Ashford parts. When you go to look at the wheel, the first thing that I want you to check for is, does it have the flyer? That is a replaceable part, but it is one of the most expensive parts to replace. So if the flyer isn't there or it's broken, you can replace it, but the current cost for the standard model is $86 just to replace the flyer. I'm not saying don't buy it if the flyer is missing, but you definitely want to adjust your offer price to reflect the missing flyer. The next thing that you want to check is the wheel. You don't just want to make sure that it moves when you treadle the pedal, but you want to make sure that it isn't warped or cracked because the wheel is not a part that you can replace. If the wheel is too far gone, you need to walk away. You also want to make sure that as it's spinning true. It's okay for it to have a wobble as long as it doesn't throw off the drive band that fits in the groove along the top. If it's throwing off the drive band, it's going to be way too much of a problem. You really probably can't fix that. So leave that one and move on to the next one. If it truly is the world's most popular spinning wheel, then there will be more to come. And I see them on Facebook Marketplace all the time. This part cannot be replaced, so really look at it carefully. And I'll give you an example of what a wobble looks like because the wheel that I purchased also had a wobble as well as being clunky. The wheel has a wobble. It doesn't throw the drive band. But it is there. And this is what it looks like from this direction. It's also important to notice if the wheel includes accessories. A brand new Ashford Traditional unfinished goes for about $829, and the finished ones go for around $1,000. But they come with 4 bobbins as well as an upright lazy Kate. If you were to purchase bobbins separately, they cost between $17 and $22 for the bobbins, depending on if they're finished or unfinished. And the lazy Kate goes for $44. Lots of times the wheel you purchase is only going to come with 1 bobbin. And if you were to purchase 3 more plus a lazy Kate, then you're adding on an additional $100. So keep that in consideration. If the wheel you're looking at has all of the bobbins, it has the lazy Kate, and comes with some carders, hand carders, extras that they're throwing in, that's going to be a good deal, and you want to look really closely at that because that's probably going to be a great option for you. But if you've only got 1 bobbin, which my wheel only had 1 bobbin, you are going to be out extra money purchasing specific bobbins for that wheel. My last tip is the problem that I referred to earlier, which is the clunky wheel. This is probably going to be something that you're looking at for Ashford Traditionals that were manufactured around 1965 to even up to 1980, because they interchanged a lot of the parts. But what you want to be looking for is if your wheel has this style, this L-shaped style of crank. This crank style was an inferior design and they stopped making them. You might have this style and it works great, but I'm going to show you some tips and clues that this is a potential clunky wheel problem, which absolutely can be fixed, but the clunky wheel kit is going to cost you around $62 with shipping to fix this problem. So this is not an Ashford Traditional treadle, but I just wanted to use it to give you an idea of what you're feeling around for. If the wheel is clunky, you're going to feel like you have to push down with your heel on the treadle and then push down with your toes and then push down with your heel and push down with your toes. And it's going to feel really awkward. It's this heel toe pushing. It's annoying and it's frustrating and it keeps you from concentrating on your drafting because you're just having to think of too many things to do at once. When you're going to treadle, you're going to notice this herky jerkiness of this part as it's trying to get around when you're treadling. This is some video of the Ashford Traditional that I purchased before we fixed the clunky wheel. Based on the details of the wheel, it was probably built around 1970 to 1980. If you listen, you can hear and see. You want to be looking at the conrod there, and you can see that the crank is loose. And that is definitely a bit of a problem, especially if you are a new spinner. So this is the conrod and this is the crank. And you can see if I'm holding these two, I can spin the wheel about an inch in either direction before it starts moving this. And it's not supposed to do that. For a comparison, you can see on my Kiwi 3, here is the crank on that one. When I move the wheel, the crank moves. If I'm holding it, it still moves. And it is not loose at all. The wheel moves and the crank moves. In order to fix this, I purchased a clunky wheel kit, which came with a new conrod, as well as a new crank, leather conrod joint, and a hub pin. So this entire part needs to be replaced, including the crank, because apparently this design didn't work very well, and so they discontinued it and went with the new conrod and crank. The wheel still spins. It's just that it's clunky, and if you're just learning to use it, the heel toe you kind of have to do at times just adds to frustration, and it makes you not want to spin anymore. It was relatively easy to get the hub pin out of the wheel in the first place, mainly because they did not have a hub pin in. They had this cotter pin in there. When you're looking at the crank, there's a hole right here, and this slides in to the two posts through the center of the hub pin, and then you're going to put this in through the top to get into this hole right here. If you're trying to remove it, you can always take a nail and tap gently on top of the hub pin to help you get that started coming out the other end. Here's a photo of my husband using that same cotter pin to try to get the holes aligned for the new crank. Here's a photo of what the hub pin hole looks like from the top. And here is a photo of the bottom. And this is what it looks like with an actual hub pin installed. He used the cotter pin to help get everything aligned properly. If you listen carefully, you can hear it snap into place.
Does that look like it's in about the right spot? Because that's what feels good to me.
Okay. He left the cotter pin in the bottom to keep it aligned while he gently tapped the hub pin in from the top. The new conrod is now on and the wheel is working much better. When I hold the wheel and I hold the conrod or the crank, I can't keep it. This does not move anymore at all. Everything moves together. It is no longer loose. All in all, what I want you to consider is the extra price that you might have to pay. It's not just $250 for this wheel that is supposedly working. That's what I paid for mine. At the time that I purchased it, it had only the one bobbin, no lazy Kate, no extra bobbins, and I learned really fast that it was going to be $100 to get those extra things. And add in an Ashford maintenance kit, which is around $32 right now, 32 to 36. And you're quickly upping the price to about $130, which was where I was at. And then the maintenance kit did not solve my problem. The maintenance kit includes a drive band, which is just cotton string, so you can get away with using just cotton string. It's got some brake hooks, which again, you could use a rubber band, a hair rubber band in place of a brake hook. The oil bottle is nice, but you can also buy that separately. And there's a lot of replacement parts for wheels that aren't even the Ashford Traditional. It has the replacement parts in the hooks and things like that for your Ashford Traditional, but it's also got some extra parts in there for wheels that you don't own. So right there, you're adding 130 on to the wheel. And for me, that wasn't even the problem. I needed to get the maintenance kit and get a whole new conrod or footman and crank at the cost of about $62 with shipping. I believe the kit is around $50 and then another $10 to $12 for shipping. So you might think that you're getting a wheel for $250, but in my case, it ended up being over $400 and it was still wasn't a perfect wheel. So what I ended up doing is I returned the extra bobbins that I bought and I ended up purchasing a brand new Kiwi 3, which I still use to this day. I absolutely love it and it is a fabulous wheel. At the time, it was only around $500, so it was basically $100 more. But if you start getting up to the $400 all in price range, you might want to consider just buying a new wheel, especially if you're a beginner, because this is a lot of stuff that you don't want to deal with yet. Once you know what you're doing, oh, by all means, buy all the wheels that you want because you will know what to look for and you will understand what it is that you want. And I've been told that wheels are herd animals, so you can't have just one. But if you are up around that $400 point, the Kiwi 3, which is the one that I bought, currently is $629 for an unfinished wheel and $799, so $800 for a finished wheel. So again, you're getting up into the same price of a brand new Ashford Traditional, but you can look into the Louet S17. That one for a single treadle is $408. And for the double treadle, it is $430. And that's a brand new wheel that you're putting together yourself. So you're going to learn a little bit more about it. And you're going to know that it is a working wheel and that you have something that you will be able to spin yarn on. And you're not going to have all that extra frustration. Don't get me wrong, some Ashford Traditionals are in great shape and you are getting a steal, especially if they come with all of the accessories. So by all means, jump on those. But there are a lot of them. I know it won't seem like it at first, but there's a lot of them. They come around. Check Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, OfferUp. Look for your local guild. There's probably one near you. I drive an hour to get to mine. I love it. I've learned so much. I never would have gotten to the point that I'm at now had I not joined my guild and just gotten so much wisdom from all of the members in the guild. They are amazing. Also, you might be able to get access to better wheels from people in the guild, because people will always bring us wheels to look at, or if they're trying to sell them, or if somebody died and there's an estate sale and they want these tools to go to people who know how to use them. It is a great way to get a wheel, is getting it through your guild. But again, if you start getting up around the $400 point for a used wheel that's going to need repairs, maybe look into buying new or just waiting. Get yourself a drop spindle. You can learn so much from a drop spindle and just keep practicing on that. Honestly, once I got my Kiwi 3, which was brand new, I still couldn't use it. I could not spin a yarn to save my life. It wasn't until I joined my guild and worked with my drop spindle for at least 2 months that I was able to spin a yarn. And once I was able to do that, then I was able to try working with my wheel. And eventually I did get the hang of it. I love spinning. I think it's great. And I just don't want you to sink good money after bad. And I want you to go in knowing what the possible outcomes could be. So enjoy your wheel. I hope you find something fabulous. Happy spinning.